Introductory Explanation 2, which is titled Reading and Writing. A large proportion of this course depends upon reading and writing. It is not in any way required that you engage huge amounts of text, either way, reading or writing. It's there to guide. So the course guides themselves are almost complete in that you could read the course guide, attend the lectures and provide the assessments, and that will be good enough. However, many people manage to go through the course guides without realising that they contain learning outcomes and assessment objectives and mark schemes. This has been problematic to people in the past, so please have a look at the course guides and know what the intention is. The learning outcome is what has been agreed should be the case when you've done the course. The assessment objectives are what you need to do in order to be able to be assessed, and the mark schemes tell you what band you're in addition to which you'll be given feedback. So it's important to understand what it is that you're being expected to do. You wouldn't not be expected to do that in any other walk of life. However, it is also important to understand that there are reading lists included in the course material which appear to be absolutely terrifying at face value, but there are far too many resources there for you to be expected to read them all. They're there to guide you into what sorts of things will help you. As previously said, if in doubt, ask. But the intention is to find these courses interesting, and the materials have been selected to make that interest available. Secondly, and also from experience of this, the marks. If you haven't done anything at university academic level, you may find that the marks are discouragingly not what you were hoping to get. They're dictated by the ambient, that's the general academic system in the United Kingdom, and therefore it's extremely unlikely that you're going to get very much more than 80%, and you'd have to be doing really, really well to get 80%. There have been people who have been crestfallen at having worked their socks off and still only managed to get 60%, which is the equivalent of a high second-class pass. So don't be discouraged. Note-taking. No, this is still part of the same one. Sorry, I can
That's
stop
why
now.
we can edit it.
Right, note-taking is included in this course because it's part of the reading and writing thing. Many people will sit through the lectures and read through the lecture notes without taking notes. That's not a good idea. Psychologically, it is the case that if you engage, you will remember. Writing notes doesn't mean that you have to write down everything that's said while you're being instructed in tutorials, nor does it mean that you have to paraphrase everything that you're reading. Styles of note-taking vary between people. I myself use spider diagrams and have done ever since I was a teenager. Other people find that annoying. Systems of note-taking can range all the way from recording the entire lecture, which I've never thought is a good idea, because that means you've got to hear the whole thing twice, to spider diagrams, which mean you jot down things, put lines between the things, and then understand what the relationships were later. The middle ground is to jot down things on a pad as you go. However, from long experience, it is the case that lack of note-taking is often the reason why people don't remember. There is something about writing notes that makes remembering so much easier. There are ways of making notes that I haven't mentioned, of course, but the most obvious from experience are spider diagrams, index cards, A4 pads, or recordings. Any of those things, but please try and use all of them. In the lectures, there are often PowerPoint presentations which are, generally speaking, republished on Kongol shortly after the lecture, but that doesn't mean you can rely on remember everything because of them. They're there as an aid to your memory. Learning is all about engagement. It also is the case that it's a good idea here to mention word counts. If you're not familiar with academic writing, word counts can be a bit intimidating one way or the other. There's a reason for there being word counts included in quite a lot of the assignments, which is that the expectation is that you have the intellectual understanding and analytical ability to reduce a big topic to something which is accessible in a smaller number of words. Please don't find the word counts frightening. They're there for a purpose, but please don't overextend them or not use them. Every word is precious, and it is part of the marking scheme to use the word count. The techniques of reading and writing actually become endurable, surprisingly, over time. That's that one. Thank you.